All right, boys, just fucking get started. All right. So the way I look at this shit is like, instead of just waiting and planning and writing down in your notes page, business plan, fitness plan, my goals, all of the stuff, just get started. Just honestly get started because the only way you're going to be able to make any progress, all right? If you fucking sit around all day and you're like, yeah, once I start, it's going to be great. Once I figure out exactly what I'm going to do, once I write out my plan, it'll be great. Once I get my schedule wrote down, once I, increase everything, all right, just shut up and just get started. All right, let me give you some specific examples. All right, so with business, must have been 2 years ago now when I was 14 years old. I started selling web design. I had no fucking idea how to make websites. I didn't know how to make a website. I didn't know what I was doing. I was too afraid to take sales calls. I had no confidence. I was skinny. I just didn't even know what I was doing, and I just got started. All right, started selling websites. One here and there, $50, $100, and then one day I was talking to this lady in DMs on Discord. This way I used to sell my websites on Discord, and I was talking to her, and it was like a bit different this time. I could tell something was a bit different. She seemed a bit more like she had some money, so I was like, maybe I'll be able to get some money from her. And then she was like, yeah, my budget is and I was like, holy fuck. So like, yeah, so the website will be $500. Zero confidence pitching that price, by the way. I'd never charged anyone that much money for something before. I was just like, yeah, $500, and then like $200 a month for hosting, which is basically just some bullshit fee I created so I could charge more for my service. And she goes, yes, instantly in the DMs. Didn't even ask to call. She was just like, yep, that sounds fine. Where should I pay? Send her a payment link on Stripe. She pays it straight away. I make the homepage. Yeah, well, at this point, right, I still had no idea how to make a website, really. Like I had templates and stuff. So then I was really fucking locked in. Next day, 12 hours, worked the entire day, got it done, and then I actually made the homepage of this website. But the only reason why I had the motivation and the fucking I don't know how to explain it, but it's like when you have that fire under you, like she'd already paid me $250, which was like 10 grand to me at the time. It was like, okay, well, I have to fucking do this. I have to actually deliver on the service because I've taken her money now. I need to get the second half of it. So I figured out how to make it. Watched a bunch of videos. Genuinely just stared at my laptop for 12 hours straight. I was sat at my desk and I just worked and I just worked and I figured it out. 12 hours, sent it to her. She liked it, paid me the rest, even more money. I was like, holy shit. And then I finally finished making the website. It was pretty good. Turns out it was a bit dodgy. She was doing some like crypto scammy shit. Doesn't matter because I got the money at the end of the day, right? It's one of those examples, and it's like I could have instead, not started selling and just sat there and like instead of actually just going for it and instead of actually just, pitching and selling and trying to make some money, I could have just sat there and been like, yeah, once I'm good at web design, once I know how to do it, once I know how to make websites, once I've practiced, I'll start selling it. But you need to get started because what's the point in just sitting around and planning and like this is my plan, it's my plan. I've done it for a long time as well. I used to not just get started, and I used to sit there and like plan and think about what I was going to do, think that I wasn't good enough to get started, and it just didn't get me anywhere. It really didn't get me anywhere. So it's just so much better to get started. All right, you're going to be shit when you start, you're going to fuck up, you're going to make mistakes, but you learn when you make mistakes. All right, so instead of like, this is the problem with school, for example, right? You're in the classroom and it's so like safety netted. It's like, all right, you mess up, it's like, it's okay, and then you're like, they're like give you more homework, and then it's like completely fine. They're like, oh, okay, you get a bad grade, it doesn't really mean anything, you just go again. It's not the end of the world. But that's not how it works in life. You fail and then you learn. All right. The only way to learn is by failing, by messing up. All right. You have to hear 99 no's before you hear one yes. All right. I'm sure you've heard that story before. You knock on 100 houses. Everyone's going to say no, and then eventually you get that one yes. All right. That's how you need to train your brain to think about it. You just need to go for it. You just need to get started. You just need to actually take some action, and that's when you'll actually be able to see results. And I'm not perfect at this. I'm still trying it myself, but this is definitely something that will really change the game for you, right? And will really allow you to finally start progressing, because you can't make progress if you don't get started. All right. Another example with fitness. Started in the gym less than 2 years ago, honestly. Started in August 2024. So almost 2 years now, I guess, in a couple months. Started going to the gym. Pretty shit. Didn't really know what I was doing. Just started lifting. I was a bit retarded about it. And then like after about 5 months into the gym, I started posting fitness content. Like I had a really bad physique, didn't have much muscle mass, was still pretty fucking skinny, and I was like teaching people how to not be skinny. Didn't really have the credibility for it at that point, but I still got started, all right? And this was because I heard this from some creators, that I watched on YouTube. They're like, you're gonna make 100 shit videos before you make one that you like, before you actually get good at talking on camera. You build up the confidence to actually be able to make videos that you're proud of. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I just have to do the reps. Didn't really know what I was talking about. I was like, how to make I started off with like making like finance videos when I didn't even have the finances for it. And basically I had no credibility, but I was kind of yapping my face off using ChatGPT to make scripts, shit like that. But then, I kind of realized, I need to make these videos. So started making them. They're a bit shit. Didn't do very well. But I built up the reps. And basically it's like, you don't progress without actually trying. So I was posting these videos. You can look back. Some of them are private now, but you'll be able to see some of the earlier ones if you look back on my channel. They're absolutely shocking. They're really quite shocking. And they're not good. They didn't perform that well. Actually, no, one of them did perform pretty well. It's like the best performing video on this channel, which is a bit stupid, but it happens, and it's like, I still help some people. I still got comments saying you were helping people. If I didn't even start posting, I wouldn't have helped those people. All right. So it's actually like a moral, ethical thing you have to do as well. All right. Because if I didn't ever get started, then I wouldn't have ever been able to help those people. All right. But it's like, posted these videos, pretty trash. But now I'm at the point where I'm happy with my physique. I'm satisfied with the progress that I've made. I feel like I have some credibility and I have something to teach to people. I've already built up those skills of talking to a camera like I am right now, having the confidence to speak, to push across my points to the people that, I'm speaking to, And I only got there because, I figured out that I just have to get started. I just have to take action before I'm even ready. I started fitness coaching, started selling my product. You can check out what I do, top link in the description. And I just got started. I wasn't really ready. I tried other variations. This product I've got is not the final variant of it, but I tried all sorts of stuff, low ticket products. If you're in the info space, you know what this is, and I tried everything. I got some success with it. Didn't really work that well, but then I found what works. But I tried. I actually tried, and I actually took action. I actually showed up again and again, even when things weren't working. I wasn't seeing any progress. I just kept going. Kept recording, kept trying, and eventually, I started to see some success with it. And now I'm just going to keep pushing. Keep improving at it. But I'm still doing stuff that I'm not too familiar with. I started doing some high ticket coaching this year. It's not going too badly, but I want to take it further. The only way I can take it further is by doing more, by actually taking more action. Trying the stuff that's holding me back. So it's basically, the idea with this is just, you have to just try. You really have to just start. I don't know when I made a box here, but the problem is, all right, people aren't trying. It's the same thing with the gym. You say, okay, I'm going to wait till I have a perfect routine to follow. I'm going to wait until I have the perfect food and my mom stops making me eat, like the Indian diet, which is like high carb and low protein or whatever. I'll just wait around. I'll just wait. I'll get started next year once my growth plate stops, so I don't stunt my growth. Like, shut up, honestly. Just get started. All right. It's like, yeah, I'll go after my exams and after I'm in a position and after my home and my childhood trauma is healed and now I don't no longer need to be scared, and then I'll go to the gym. Like, no, just go today. All right. Like, there's nothing worse than I'll start tomorrow. All right. It sounds really cliche. Like, people talk about it, but just start today. All right. If you're the person who starts today, you're genuinely going to be so much more successful than the person that waits to start tomorrow. So he's going to start next week, in a couple months when he's free, Oh, I'll have more time to get started in the gym in 2 months. It's never starting. All right. It's never getting started. You just get started today. All right. You're going to be shit. You're not going to know what you're doing. You're going to look like an idiot, but at least you're getting started. All right. There's nothing I respect more inside of the gym when I see beginners just learning, right? Humbly learning. They have no idea what they're doing. They're really weak. They don't have a good physique, but they show up. All right. And I see them consistently showing up. And eventually, give it 1-2 years, they're going to have a physique that they're proud of. All right. That's all it takes. It takes 1 year to completely transform your life, transform your physique, transform your fitness, but only if you get started today. All right, so look at the date today. It's July 18th for me. Maybe you're watching this on July 18th, 19th, 20th, whatever. Look at the date today and think, a year from now, you could either be the exact person you want to become if you start today instead of waiting until tomorrow. Or you can say, yeah, I'll start in 6 months when I'm ready. You won't start in 6 months. You might start in 8, maybe 10. Well, okay, well then a year from now, you're still the same person. If that's fine with you, then go ahead. That's completely fine. But for me, that's not what I want, all right? You need to get started. You need to actually start taking action. Otherwise, you won't be able to get any results, because without any inputs, you can't get any outputs, you know what I mean? So you just have to start. You have to start taking action before you're ready, all right? You don't want to just start when the time feels right, when the stars align, because the stars aren't aligning, all right? You've heard the saying before. You just need to get started, especially before you're ready, all right? It's helped me in business. It's helped me with fitness. And it's also helped me with relationships, all right? The amount of people I see that have never spoken to a girl in their life is honestly tragic, all right? It's really quite sad. Don't speak to them. Hey, yeah, I'm going to do all this fucking looks matching shit. And they start like fucking like doing all this stuff, watching all like Clavicula and like just fucking shit like that. And it's like, honestly, it's just a girl, all right? They're really not that clever. And it's just so retarded to see how little logic people have in this case. just try. If you try, you're already beating 90% of people. And you basically have a 50-50 chance of succeeding, all right? It's that fucking easy. I see some people and they're like, oh, I've never had a girlfriend before. All I want is a girlfriend. Well, you don't try. You don't do anything, all right? You take any action, you just try. And chances are it works. I see it again and again. People just try for the first time. You finally, they get off their ass and they actually try and do something and they try. And it works for them, all right? They get their first girlfriend, all right, great. It's going to be pretty shit, but at least, they got it, It's like, it really applies to all areas. You just need to get started before you're ready, all right? So stop waiting around, stop sitting around, stop saying like, I'll get started tomorrow, I'll get started next week, I'll get started in a month, I'll get started, after my exams finish, I'll get started, once my job is over, once this internship is done, once I feel ready, once I've healed from my injury. No, just get started, all right? Just start today. It's the only way you're going to see any results, by getting started before you're ready. All right. This is the only way that I've been able to progress in my life. And I forget it too. I forget it sometimes. I wait and I plan. I write in my fucking notebook like what my goals are and what I'm going to do. But there's no point doing it. All right. The only thing that will progress you forward is by taking action. Okay. I'm not going to stand here and act as if I figured it all out. All right. But I have figured out that this is exactly what works. And it's what's worked for me in the past after reflecting on it. And it is exactly what will work for you. All right, you need to get started before you're ready, because when you get started before you're ready, you have some pressure, all right? If you're posting videos about how to make money online and you've never made any money online, you have no credibility. You're technically a fraud, all right? You have no idea what you're talking about. All of a sudden, you have to fucking make some money. Otherwise, long-term, it's not going to work, all right? You add some pressure, okay? We're all too comfortable. We all have too good, like, middle-class lives, all right? It's all way too comfortable. So you need to add some pressure to it, right? Because you're never going to, build the physique that you want because you don't have enough pressure for it, all right? Like, you can live a chill life. You don't have to train. It doesn't matter. People don't like muscle anyway. People don't like being in shape. You don't need to be healthy. Just go eat the fucking red 40 Doritos. It's fine, right? You don't have to do anything. Nothing you have to do. This is all completely optional. Watching this video is optional. Going to the gym is optional. Making money is optional. Eating fucking food, going and buying your own food is completely optional. Just rely on your parents. That's fine. It's completely fine to do. I mean, we could argue if it's completely fine to do, but it's something that you can do. Very likely. 99% of you can. But is that what you want? Because to change that situation, which is so comfortable, you have to start before you're ready. You have to get started right now. You have to start today, all right? I don't want to hear any of this shit. I'll start tomorrow. I'll do this tomorrow. I'm going to do it next week. I'm just planning and then I'll record next week. Just do it right now. Just start right now, all right? Click off this video, all right? This video will end in like 20 seconds. Click off it and go do the one thing that you've been putting off. If it's starting training, do it. If it's putting together your meals and like meal prepping, do it. If it's starting the business, fucking do it. Just start today, all right? Figure out what's the first thing you can do to get started. To start a business, you need to be able to accept payments. Figure that out. Do it today. All right. If you don't get started today, you'll never see any results. I hope this helps. If you want my help further in implementing the system and everything like that, you can check out the top link in the description, see what I do, and I'll catch you there. But if not, yeah, subscribe to the channel and thank you for watching.